Alright everyone, it's time to talk about Weekly Shonen Jump 2025, issue 35, which features Hima-Ten on the cover to celebrate its first anniversary. And honestly, not a whole lot to say about this cover. It's just a perfectly serviceable cover. I was kind of hoping for something a little more visually interesting to look at. But I guess, it's about high school kids being weird about romance, so like, what are you gonna do? I don't know. This is mildly disappointing. I don't know what I was expecting, but it definitely wasn't this. I am happy to see Ie Mori on the cover though, because a lot of the times these romance series neglect the male lead on things like this. But yeah, other than that, not much to say about it. Next week is looking a lot more promising though, because we're having a Pokemon collab with Shonen Jump, so that will be cool. It's also a combined issue next week, which means there will be no Jump the week after, but it happens. It'll be the first one of this channel. So we'll see how I deal with that. I don't really know what I'll be doing the week after next, but we'll find out together. And with that out of the way, I think we're ready to just dive into this issue here, starting with Hima-Ten. Hima-Ten Chapter 52, thanks for all your hard work. That is certainly a color page. Anyways, Himari is dripped out. She looks great. That is a really cool outfit. It's very unique, different than something we usually see her wear. Which is the point. This is a date, you know, they're out on the town. She's not wearing a disguise for once. That's a point she makes later. Overall, this was an extremely cute chapter. It's literally just the two of them going on a date. But it's that weird thing. This happens in almost every romance series where they literally call it a date. They both know it's a date. But there's just this weird thing where they will not acknowledge that this is like a romantic date. It's just like they're just hanging out. It's really strange, but she does end with a hug, so we're getting somewhere. A lot of people are kind of fearing that this series might be getting axed soon, which maybe, because, it hasn't been doing super great. And the fact that it got the cover this week really doesn't mean much of anything. It was just the anniversary. They do this for every series when it hits its year. But we'll see how it goes. There's definitely a path where we could just end it soon. They could fall in love and that's just that. But obviously there's a lot more to explore with this series. We just introduced a whole new character like 2 chapters ago or last chapter. So we'll just see how it goes. I don't know. I'm rooting for this series still. I think it has its low points, but overall I think it's a cute read. I have a good time with it. I'd hate to see it not end on its own terms, but what can you do if it happens? Good chapter though, very good. Shinobi Undercover Chapter 43, I Want to Join You. Pretty good chapter. I actually really like this one for the most part. I will say that I think the ending of this fight kind of lacked impact, which might sound crazy because it is a really cool panel, but like something about it just doesn't feel definitive. Like that's the final hit. Even though we're literally seeing, the plank of wood, whatever you want to call that, the thing they have to break to win, snapping. It just, I don't know, something about it just feels off to me. I can't really describe it, but it looks nice. This chapter was very well drawn, as is most chapters for this series. But the real exciting thing about this to me is the ending, where we're starting to tease some more slice of life shenanigans, which I'm very excited about. But yeah, the fight's over. Assumedly this arc is over as well, and we'll be going into more of the content of the series that I jive with. So if this is the thing, like if this is how the series is structured, we do like one fight, dramatic arc, and then a slice of life arc, so on and so forth till it ends, I'm on board. I was just concerned that we were going to be stuck in Battle Shonen hell for a long ass time. And that is really not an insult. I love Battle Shonen. Obviously, look around me. I love it. But I'm not feeling the fights in this series that much. I can't deny it. It's just not really clicking with me. But I am happy to know that slice of life vibe is not gone.
Get this man a gun.
Sakamoto Days, Chapter 223, Conceited. We're so back. We're so back, guys. This is Sakamoto Days. This was almost surreal. It just felt like an old Sakamoto Days chapter, like a really early one. And that is not a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination. This is awesome. We just have this incredible fight, Nagamo versus Oki happening. It's not exactly the focus of this chapter. It kind of shifts focus, but it is like half of the chapter, and then we focus on this license to kill concept. And it's the funniest part was this cop to me who, I just became a cop so I could have a gun and shoot people, but now that like anybody can kill, what's the point of even being a cop? I love that a lot. That is very funny, and we just have these whack-ass background characters like Sakamoto Days loves to do. This interesting-looking guy here talking about a baby crying, and the lady just kills him. Hell yeah. This was a really great chapter. I don't know if it'll be chapter of the week or not. It was pretty damn good, but I do wish we had seen more of Naguma versus Oki. That's what I was expecting to see here, but kind of this half and half situation, which worked in a different way, but still kind of a bummer. But regardless, this is just a classic Sakamoto Days chapter, and I could not be happier about it. Ichi the Witch, Chapter 44, Presents. We have a really nice color page to start off with. I love this so much. It's just so cool with new Team Discaris, and they're all dripped out. Looks fantastic. And this chapter itself, phenomenal. I loved this so much. It's just so sweet. You know, we have Ichi and Fubuki just shopping. They got their payout for the mission, and Ichi asks advice on what he should spend his money on eventually after some shopping around, and she tells him to get a gift for someone he cares about. And of course he gives it to Discaris and thanks her for making him part of her family. And I thought that was so sweet. Really beautiful, touching scene there that I will remember for quite some time, because that was just so well done. Man, this series is fantastic. It really is. I appreciate it more and more every week. Also worth noting briefly is that there's a very funny moment where at the beginning, where they're doing all this paperwork and stuff, and Ichi says, "Grr, I want to touch dirt." That's amazing. I love Ichi. Never change. Kagurabachi Chapter 88, The First Step. Kind of not much to say about this chapter. It was really cool. Just a lot of great art, great action as per usual, but again, that's just kind of the norm for Kagurabachi, so when you have a chapter like this, I don't know, what can you say? It's the same as always. It's awesome. It's really cool. We do have a new character introduced here named Kiri. She seems pretty cool. Very early on with her, so I can't say a whole lot, but I like her so far. Got a cool looking sword. And yeah, just cool art, cool action, set pieces, all that. We're gonna probably see Kiri shine here in the next chapter, so we'll get a proper introduction to what she's all about. But yeah, on its own, this chapter doesn't really stand too well on its own 2 feet. It's fine, but this is definitely more like a binge read chapter. Akane-banashi Chapter 168, I've Gotten Stronger. This is the chapter I've been waiting for. We're seeing Hikaru's results here, and it's about what I expected. The 2 judges who are nameless and pointless, who nobody cares about, give a 96 and a 94. Very good. I mean, it was a great performance, so obviously. And then Shomei steps in, which is the only judge that really matters, with an 86. So much lower, still high, but much lower than the other 2. And that is pretty much what I expected to happen here. Shomei is the only deciding factor, and he might as well be the only judge. He's the only thing that matters, narratively and also even literally in the world, I think, because like those other 2, nobody seems to care about. People are only really concerned with Shomei's opinions here. And Shomei goes into why. And even though he kind of rags on her a little bit, he does swing it back into a compliment. So he's not incapable of saying that somebody had a good performance. He just has to kind of be more critical about it, be more harsh, which is kind of the name of the game here. Then we end off with Karashi about to do his performance, and I'm so excited for this. I'm equally as excited as I was for Hikaru's performance. This is going to be amazing. I can't wait to see how much he's grown. Super excited. So yeah, this arc is just really, it's up there with some of the best like competition arcs in this series so far. I'm so enjoying this. It's just phenomenal. Harukaze Mound Chapter 7, Clutch Hitter. You know, same thing I say every week. It's just hard for me to talk about this series right now. It's, you know, it's fine. This chapter was probably my least favorite so far. I just didn't really feel much of anything. That's fine for now. And I really do mean that. Any good sports series, at least the ones I've read. I haven't read a lot of sports series or watched a lot of sports anime. But all of them that I've seen, they do start kind of slow. You gotta get into it. You know, you gotta learn the team, you gotta learn what they're all about, gotta see them do these practice games and whatnot, and then it's usually when the first real game happens is when you feel it. You know, you start to feel the potential in the series. And I'm just not gonna get that from here. For what we're going through now, I'm just not feeling anything, which again, I don't think it's bad. I gotta stick it out. I gotta get through these initial parts. I'm seeing, you know, something here where we're learning like the gimmicks of all the team members, which is cool. It's kind of all we've been doing these past few chapters. But seeing them applied here just isn't exciting or interesting. It just feels like we're watching like just some kind of like character introduction compilation. It's not super engaging or interesting. But I have faith that this will spin itself into something I care about. We're just not there yet. The Elusive Samurai Chapter 212, Brotherly Spat, 1351. Even though we end off the chapter actually on 1352. So we're moving right along. And I gotta admit, this chapter wasn't bad. Usually I don't like these kind of chapters where it's just talking about military strategies and yada yada political nonsense. But I really liked what Tadayoshi had to say to the group and to Tokiyuki in particular. It was a nice sentiment, and you know, what happens to him later in the chapter is noble and all that. It kind of hit well. It wasn't that bad. I usually am pretty tough on this series, but I thought this chapter was handled pretty effectively and with a lot of grace. So good on it for that. We're definitely starting to near some kind of conclusion here. I could see this series ending this year, but we'll just have to wait and see how much it decides to drag out these final parts of the series here. Yeah, not bad. This was a decent chapter of Elusive Samurai. Also, by the way, real quick, I want to mention that before this on the TOC is a one-shot called Shomen no Muto, which I'm not reading. I can't really read it. I could find it somewhere, but I'm not going to bother. Just letting you know it is not being covered here, but it is in the TOC and in the magazine this week. That's just a one-shot.
And it's mommy makeout day.
Kaedegami Chapter 6, Bing and the Chongui. These chapter titles, I'm not used to reading titles like this, so it catches me off guard every time there is a chapter like this. This was an okay chapter. I thought it was kind of cool. We got some really cool, interesting action and cool art. Some of the action is a little hard to read, I will admit. The paneling is not the greatest thing in the world, but this is something that I'm sure can be improved over time. So I'm not too worried about it, unlike in Odor of the Flame, where shit's just falling apart second by second. This is fine. This is chill. I don't mind it at all. I enjoyed this chapter. I do like getting a little insight into what exactly what body parts of Chiyo's were actually missing, because I wasn't really fully grasping that. She's missing her hands, her feet, and her stomach at least, which we learned, but there might be other like internal organs missing that we can't really see. But we run into the guy that has her right hand, I think her right hand, one of her hands, I'm pretty sure it's the right one. He's a huge asshole like everybody else we've encountered so far in the series, and that gets the protagonist riled up to take him down and get the hand back. Which, by the way, I still do not remember the protagonist's name. It has not stuck yet. They don't say it enough. They gotta say it more. That's something you gotta nail in the first couple chapters. You gotta be saying that protagonist's name all the time. They're saying Chiyo all the time. I got that down. I'm not gonna forget that. But I feel like they never say this guy's name, unless I'm just like somehow blacking out every time I read it, which is possible. Maybe it's just a really forgettable name. Yeah, not bad chapter at all. I enjoyed my time with it for sure. Blue Box, Chapter 205, What Are You Doing? And that's what I find myself asking this series right now. So, main takeaway from this chapter is, that's the thought that reigned in my head after I read this. Just, because I don't know what we're doing here. This is a curveball, not in a way I thought, where we're touching back on the whole neighbor mystery with Chinatsu that people were blowing up about, a couple months ago or whenever that was first teased. And yeah, it's going the way people thought. It's gonna be this guy that's, nice to her, all this, they hang out, and probably gonna be a kind of like, are we worried about Taiki here? Are they gonna break up? And now we have this Hina teasing, which I was not expecting at all, because Hina's not on her own, evidently. Taiki also got off the train with her to, help her get back and all that. And we end on a very interesting moment here. This is an interesting development. I really don't know what we're doing here. I just gotta wait and see. I don't have feelings one way or the other, because I need to see how this plays out completely. If we have this whole thing where we're kind of backtracking and like we're we're doing like Hina's feelings again, and we got Chinatsu being teased with another guy, and I don't know if I want to go through all this. This just sounds like a headache right now at this point of the story. But Blue Box very rarely lets me down. So I'm going to hear it out. I don't know what's happening here. Let's see.
Bruh.
Ekiden Bros Chapter 5, The Guy with an Insanely High Ceiling. Good God, this series is boring, man. I just don't... I'm not having fun with this in any capacity. There's nothing to latch on to. The art is weird. It's not bad, it's just weird. And the way the running is portrayed is just not visually interesting. Things they're talking about, like these running methods and running tactics, this is gonna dry up so fast. I just don't care. Like, I don't see how this can be a series. If anything, this can just be a short story. Like, if this actually just lasts, you know, the 18 chapters, which I'm really sure this is not going to last beyond 18 chapters, that's like a perfect length for this. Like, what's like, what else can you do? That should just be the whole story. It should have been planned to be 18 chapters. I don't know. It's super, super uninteresting and boring to look at. What can I say? I don't know. This series is doing absolutely nothing for me.
What are you doing, step bro?
Neway's Exorcist, chapter 108 all together. You got this color page. I don't really like it that much. It's visually, it's colorful. It certainly is colorful. It looks kind of nice, but whatever. I do not like Yozora at all. I could really do without her. And yeah, overall this chapter just kind of felt hollow to me. Kind of like a hollow weapon, wow. Yeah, I don't know. It's fine. Like, I do admire and like how fast-paced the action is here. Like, it really does feel like we're just moving at like breakneck speeds. Things are happening insanely fast. But then it like takes a pause and it does like stupid ship teasing stuff that I'm so sick of in this series. I don't know. This is just a whatever chapter. I like some of it. The art was cool in some places, not so cool in others. And yeah, we just end on like the same way every other fight chapter in the series ends. Gakuro is resolved. He's about to do something. Yippee. I guess we'll find out next week. Whatever. It was okay. Ping-Pong Peril, Chapter 4, Yakiniku Party. So this chapter kind of took me on a roller coaster. I'll be the first to admit, I've been very high on this series. I really like it, but I wasn't feeling it for a little while. I did like the beginning for the most part. Kind of lost me a little in the middle. When they went to the public bath, I was like, do we really need like a public bath chapter? I'm like, well, already. I mean, I know this is like very typical. And it's very tropey as well. And the art was a little weird in some places, some weird perspective shifts that didn't really look that great. Eyes are huge in this series, which is, honestly, I kind of like it. It's just a stylistic choice that I enjoy. But weird art sometimes, I can't deny it. But we reel it back around when we get a ping pong match happening in the bath on top of like a shower drain type deal, whatever that is, when they're playing with bath buckets. Hell yeah. That is so cool. I love this. We're so back. This is what I want from this series. Just random ass ways to play ping pong. And this is super interesting. And if them just going to a public bath is an excuse to have this happen, then sure, so be it. I'm fine with it. It works. And if this is what the series ends up being, it's just going from place to place, playing ping pong in wacky ass places, then I'm all on board. I was on board before, but now that it's showing its hand even more, I'm super into it. I also like how, you know, this match is being played with just like the attendant of the bath itself. So it's just like anybody, anywhere could be an opponent at any time. And that's just exciting. I think this is going to be a really fun series to read. I'm just really hoping it catches on with other audiences because, man, I really do like this concept. It's just fun. Like, sure, the art isn't the greatest thing in the world, but I think it makes up for it in so many other areas that I don't even mind, really. Witch Watch, Chapter 211, Con-Tune. So, I was initially really excited about this premise. I mean, I love these kind of con chapters where he just gets this dumbass spell put on him and shenanigans ensue. But unfortunately, a lot of the jokes didn't really hit for me this time around. I don't know, that's pretty rare for a con chapter, but it was still funny, but I don't know, it just wasn't like a gut buster or anything. It was a good time though. I did like it. It just could have been better. And that's fine because last week was hilarious, so I can't complain all that much. There's a few little moments that got me good, but overall, I don't know, it was okay. Not my favorite con chapter, not my favorite Witch Watch chapter, but totally serviceable. I don't dislike it by any means. Just not much to say about this one, all things considered. It also has a weird ending with that guy about to jump off the roof. Like, what the hell? Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi, Chapter 54, Kiyoshi's Partner. This is a good chapter. I like the whole thing with the Demon Lord getting, like, jealous. It's reminding me a lot of Hisoka, just different Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter, if you don't know. And even Akari is, like, really, like, what the hell is happening here? And Kiyoshi's like, I don't know either, but let's just utilize our time well enough. And yeah, it ends with a big save. Kiyoshi saves Akari, and, you know, he's looking all badass, and he's glowing. And we're literally saying out loud that, like, yeah, this is about to be the finale. Finale of the series, finale of the arc. Who knows? I don't know what is happening with this series, to tell you the truth. It's kind of unusual for series, but I could definitely see it ending soon after this fight's over. But yeah, this was a good chapter. I had a lot of fun with it. What more can you say? Me and Roboco, chapter 243, Playing Alone and Bondo. This is a good chapter. This is a very funny premise. Basic premise is that Roboco's stuck in Bondo's closet, and Bondo thinks that nobody else is home, so he's just doing a bunch of random nonsense. He's trying to shoot a Kamehameha, and he does get a little bit of energy out on his last attempt. He's just doing a bunch of other random garbage. It's a funny one. And Roboco's just too scared to leave the closet because she's worried he's gonna, like, throw her out because she saw all this happen. And great premise. I love this so much because Chiki's just being like, oh, I'll just get out of here when he, like, goes to the bathroom or something. But, like, all day he's in that room. He doesn't leave at all somehow. It's very funny. There's also a moment I really enjoyed where Bondo is looking at his issue of Jump. He's getting bored. He's like, I already read straight through it. There's literally a hole straight through the magazine. And Roboco's like, I thought that was just a figure of speech. And now I guess he just blasted a hole through it somehow. I don't know, that panel just really got me for some reason. It's a very simple joke, but I liked it. Good stuff.
You what?
Kill Blue Chapter 111, Mitsuoka Dungeon Battle. Okay, I mean, this isn't exactly what I wanted out of this. And it's weird because it should be, but something about the action art in this series just does not hit for me. Like, I just don't really care about what I'm looking at most of the time. And that reigns true here. It just, I don't know, some of the poses, they feel really stiff, and the action in general just feels stiff. It's not exciting to look at most of the time. So I can't get too hyped about seeing, Ogami and his, like, prime fighting again. I don't know, I don't really care. But the stuff with Norin is still somewhat engaging. I'm interested to see where this goes. But I could do without all the fighting. And I know that's like half of this series, but man, I just don't really care. But not really a terrible chapter. It was fine enough. Altar of the Flame, Chapter 12, The Spirit Horn. That's kind of a cool chapter. You know, it's classic, like, end of fight stuff happening. New foe shows up, and the old master steps in to take care of it. It was cool, though. You know, I liked the art of him doing that big punch there at the end. That looked really sick. But other than that, not a whole lot to say about it. It's still the same old, same old. This was better than the last 2 weeks, I'll say, at the very least. It's easier to read, at least just probably because there's less action, or at least less one-on-one fighting. There's still action happening, but it's a different type that I guess you're just kind of better at drawing and paneling. It's not perfect, but it was readable. Not bad, though. It was an okay one. I still think the series is on its way out. It doesn't really feel like it yet still, but I just kind of have a feeling that it's not gonna stick around. I mean, it's second to last on the TOC. That's not very good.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Nice Prison, Chapter 14, Boy Meets Girl. Guys, I ran out of things to say about this series. I don't know. It's not good. It's not funny. The 4-Coma theater is gone with no sign of returning. It's awful. It's just nothing funny about it. It's utterly pathetic. That's going to do it for Weekly Shonen Jump 2025, issue 35. This was a pretty solid week of Jump. I think most things were at least enjoyable at the bare minimum, except for the ones that are absolute dog shit, like Nice Prison. which is really the only absolute dog shit one in the magazine right now. Ekiden Bros 2 is not very good. Yeah, I really enjoyed my time with this issue. I think there was a lot of really solid and interesting chapters, and it's got me hyped for next week, which is a combined issue. As for chapter of the week, this is a tough one. This is a really tough one, actually. I struggled to choose, but it's gonna go to Ichi the Witch, actually. I just really liked that chapter. It's so simple. Like, there's not like a huge resounding, like, holy shit moment or anything. It's just a nice little chapter, you know? It's sweet that the moment of handing Discaris the candy, it made me emotional, you know? It was just a really sweet moment to see Discaris, who's this kind of emotionally distant character, not in like a, you know, an emotionless way, but just like she has a barrier to her emotions that's different from a lot of characters. She's still very expressive and emotive, but it's almost feels like it's a mask. So seeing her feel something in this way it's really nice to see. All right, that's all I got this week. Thank you guys for watching as per usual. We'll see you next week for issue 36, which is actually issue 36 and 37 because it's a combined issue. So, but if you're new to Jump, that does not mean we have 2 issues next week. It just means that there is no issue the next week. I don't know why it works that way. I don't know why it's considered 2 issues, but that's how it is. Yeah, in the meantime, check out my other stuff. Like, comment, subscribe if you want more. And comment what your chapter of the week is, what chapters you enjoyed, what chapters you didn't enjoy, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys in whatever you decide to watch next. Take it easy.